Let me clear my throat. Let me make sure we all good. Make sure we all good. I hope y'all can hear me out there. I hope that y'all are able to hear me out there. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Y'all know what day it is. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know who y'all looking at. Want to welcome y'all to another episode of Club Pizzle. I'm of course your host Don P. Pizzle, Pie God, Unk. Um, y'all know top of the food chain, all of them other little shits, man. I want to thank you all for y'all's continued support of this platform. I want to thank y'all for y'all continued support of this podcast. While y'all in a support mood, if y'all haven't today, um, the links will. I always say I'm gonna post the links, but I never post the links. But I am up. Scene Magazine, Best of Cleveland, Best Sports Podcast, Club Pizzle. Make sure y'all log on to the Scene Magazine. Y'all have until May the 20th. We're down to the last couple of days for that. Y'all can vote once a day, every day, until May the 20th, which is this coming up. What is that? Monday. So y'all have an opportunity to get those last few votes in. And also the Cleveland Music Awards is right around the corner. And I'm throwing my hat in that ring too. Why the fuck not? I'm going after all the awards. Um, Log in. You like go find the Cleveland Music Awards. You sign up with your email and you vote for the categories. Put me down for best radio host, podcast host. Put me in there too. So that's two things, man. Get that support, man. Y'all support me. I want to be rewarded. I will share all of these wins with all of my supporters and the people that have been down with me for the last 4 years. Again, and thank you guys in advance. And I found out that I will find out on June the 5th about the Scene Magazine Awards. And I hate that I know that now because I'm probably gonna agonize about it a little bit. So, um, it is what it is, man. I'm just, after like I'm just gonna have to just hold on and cross my fingers and my toes and just hope that just hope for the best, man. I'm trying to be humble. I ain't gonna be too crazy and too cocky, but that's that. I am back, y'all. I missed you guys last week. Did y'all miss me? I know it was a lot to talk about last week, and I wasn't here. I wasn't here because I was out of town last week. I took my mom down to Tuscaloosa to see her mom. As y'all know, my grandmother moved to Tuscaloosa last year, and I've been down twice. My mom wasn't able to go down neither time I went, so we planned it. I said, "Hey, we can go down for Mother's Day." So we went down. If y'all saw the video on my Facebook page, it's there. Just to walk in and just I live for those type of moments, those surprises. It was great. I had a great time down in Tuscaloosa. Shout out to all of my family down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We had a blast. They had me playing kickball. It got intense. We talked a lot of trash and we hugged it out at the end. See, that's what I'm all about. It was, man. It was a lot of fun, really competitive. So Cleveland, y'all know what that means. Kickball game sometime this summer. We got to get that popping. All of y'all artists, singers, rappers, podcasters, show hosts, content creators, let's do it. DJs, let's get it, man. Let's put on something fun where we can talk a little trash, have a little fun, get some exercise. Unless y'all old and washed up and y'all bellies is hanging over, or y'all smoke too much and y'all can't get out there because y'all ain't got no wind. Yes, I'm calling y'all out. I'm gonna start calling y'all out by name like soon. I'm just planting seeds right now. But that's that, man. Again, shout out to my family down in Tuscaloosa. Shout out to all my cousins. We had a blast. I will see you guys again in July. Um got those festivities out of the way. Now we have to get to the other stuff. We got to get back to the sports, right? Um, last night marked the end of the season for the 2023-24 Cleveland Cavaliers. It was, I'm not going to say they ended with a whimper, but kind of did, because no Jared Allen, no Donovan Mitchell, no Karis LeVert. You're down 40% of your starters, and you down 50% of your first six. You're without 3 of your top 6. That's an uphill battle. And going up against a team like Boston, who is without one of their guys, but they have a veteran core of guys that have been there and have been to the conference finals, 5 times, 6 times, how many ever times they've been. So it was, I don't have anything bad to say. I really don't. I know in the midseason report, I picked the Cavs to go to the conference finals and lose to Boston. I picked what I picked. I mean, I got to lose the Boston part, right? But they lost in the second round. And all I'm going to say is I'm proud of that team. I really am. I got a bunch of stuff to get to with them. Like, let's just run through it, man. The 23-24 Cleveland Cavaliers. I went to 13, 14 games this year. Had a blast. They got me locked in for a 10-game package next year. I might upgrade that. I might go half a season, or I might go half a season. I don't know. On top of having my charge tickets, I get a couple of free tickets through the Cleveland Charge. So I'm invested in this team. So I'm rocking with this team. I'm not jumping off like a lot of y'all jumped off in the Orlando series. But that's another story for another day. I am not kicking y'all's back in. I'm not kicking anybody's back in unless y'all turn the fuck around. I'll just say that. I'm gonna leave it there. This season, man, 48-34, got the 4 seed. They were the 4 seed last year, but they won 3 more games. But things get tougher. The league got better. The Eastern Conference got significantly better, with teams like Orlando hanging right there, and teams like Indiana, those teams were like, in Philly, who had injuries, but still was right there. All those teams were separated by like 2 games from 4 or 3. 2, actually, the 2 seed from 2 to 7. They were all right on top of each other, as y'all know, and I talked about that. 48-34, got the 4 seed, beat the Orlando Magic in 7, in what turned out to be a more tough series than it should have been. But I'll give the Orlando Magic all the credit in the world. That is a tough team. That is a young and up-and-coming team with a core of Paolo Banchero and Mo Wagner and Jalen Suggs. And this team has cap room. So Orlando is going to be one of those teams that is going to be hanging around. We'll probably see them again somewhere down the line, maybe in another round, maybe in the first round next year, maybe see them in the conference finals one day, maybe see them in the NBA finals, but they on the right track. And the loss to Boston in 5 games, 4-1. The regular season, up and down regular season, man. The year started, I'll say the year started with injuries, and the year ended with injuries. It started with Jared Allen being injured for the first 6 to 8 games of the year, and it ended with him missing the last 6 games of the year. Injuries just hit the roster up and down. Allen missed a bunch of time. Darius Garland missed a lot of time. Donovan Mitchell got injured. Evan Mobley got injured twice. Max Strus missed time. Karis LeVert missed time. I believe Okoro might have missed some games. But up and down the roster with your top 8 guys, they missed a lot of games, which kind of, I mean, it gave you an opportunity to get looks at other players, and I'll get to that. But it wasn't easy. It was tough, man. It was tough for this team to get to 48 wins, being ravaged by injuries the way that they were. It's a hell of a feat. They got hot December, January. They got hot from December until the All-Star break. And I remember sitting here when all of those guys, when Darius Garland went down and Evan Mobley went down on the same damn day, and wondering, hey, is JB Bickerstaff going to have a job before the ball drops for 2024? I had a whole list of coaches that could possibly replace him if they fire him mid-season, and who could be the head coach going forward into 2024. More on that later. But what did that team do right after that episode? They proceeded to gel together and do a great job. Donovan Mitchell was playing at an MVP level. Jared Allen was playing at a level that was, he was playing at an all-star level. Isaac Okoro was playing at an all-defensive level. Karis LeVert was playing like a 6th man of the year. We got guys like Craig Porter Jr. to come in and contribute. We had guys like George Niang who had good games. You had Max Strus who had good games. Did I mention Sam Merrill and his 3-point shooting? It was just top to bottom, up and down this roster. These guys were playing some serious ball in December and January and going into February. And then we got to the All-Star break where things seemed to break down. Donovan Mitchell missed like the first 2 weeks after the All-Star break, and they kind of went into a little bit of a swoon. And that swoon continued because this team was about as high as the 2 seed going into the All-Star break. I mean, Boston just ran away with the shit. It was Boston, Milwaukee for a lot of the year. And then Cleveland was right there. Like Philly, Embiid went down. Philly started to drop. The Knicks made some deals, and it took them a few weeks to adjust. And while they were adjusting, the Cavs were slowly but surely rising to the 2nd seed. They could have had the 2 seed as late as the final regular season game, where JB just decided, hey, you know what? We'll just play and we'll just get the 4 seed. Fuck it. And I was with Giannis down. So, I mean, you go through those things. But getting as high as a 2 seed going into the All-Star break and fading towards the end, Darius Garland coming back, Evan Mobley coming back, and then Mobley getting hurt again. I'll run through what Darius Garland went through again. I think I said it here. Like, he dealt with the death in the family after he came back from injury, and he played through that. Going through that tough first-round series against the Orlando Magic, Paolo Banchero has arrived, and he's going to be here for a while. And this series against the Boston Celtics, being without your best player in Donovan Mitchell for those last 2 games and still being able to compete and hang around is telling. And it makes you wonder what this team could have been had they been healthy. Not even in the beginning of the year, but just down the stretch and coming into the playoffs, imagine if you're fully healthy and playing against the Boston Celtics. This series might still be going, or the Cavs could very well have won this game in 5. This series in 5 or 6 games. Who knows? We'll never know. But it's painful, man. Let me run down this roster. Let me start with, I'm gonna go from, I got on my board top to bottom, but I'm gonna go from the bottom to the top with the guys who did play, and I'll just go from the bottom. I'm gonna start, like, we had a total of 18 guys play on this roster, played for the Cleveland Cavaliers throughout the year. Pete Nance played 8 games. He spent a lot of time. I'll just lump all of the charge guys together. Pete Nance, Isaiah Mobley, Imani Bates, and Craig Porter Jr., who only played like 2 games with the Cleveland Charge, the NBA G League team. And he never played a home game. We never had an opportunity to see Craig Porter Jr. play for the Cleveland Charge at Wolstein. Those guys, I mean, Pete played 8 games, averaged 3 minutes, really didn't, I mean, he did nothing. Isaiah Mobley, same thing. He appeared in 10 games and didn't do anything. Imani Bates played in 15 games, but those were mostly at the beginning of the year. We know what Imani's capable of, and I'll have more on that. Quick programming though. I will be doing a separate show on what they should do during the off season. I don't want to stockpile that because I have other stuff. Well, I have the Browns schedule to get to. So probably in an episode next week, I'll name this episode later. Next week, I will do a separate show on what the Cavaliers should do this offseason. Free agency, the draft, trades, whatever they need to make. And honestly, I'm still coming up with the list, and I have no idea. You know, I'm coming up with the list, and I'll do that at a separate time. But with the G League guys, I mean, Imani Bates, we know, I saw him a lot in the G League. I know he still has some work to do, and maybe hopefully he's spending this summer getting that together and putting that together. Damian Jones, he saw a little bit of time. He saw some action. It's Damian Jones. I'm not a huge fan of Damian Jones, to be honest with you. I mean, he's just another big. To me, he was a little bit clumsy. And he's a project. He's a guy, it's like, all right, guy getting a foul. He's 6 fouls. Pretty good. He's just 6 fouls, y'all. And I'll leave it there. Ty Jerome played 2 games. I don't even remember seeing Ty Jerome. So I'm gonna leave Ty Jerome alone. Craig Porter Jr. in 34 games. No, Craig Porter Jr. in 51 games. He started 6. He averaged. Let me get these things out here, man. He averaged 5 points, and he did some good things. He flashed. He showed some highlights. He's not a 3-point shooter. The Cavs did convert his 2-way contract to a full-time NBA deal. It's like a 4-year deal or something like that. I'm not sure if it's guaranteed or non-guaranteed. I'm not sure if it's like Sam Merrill's or not. But he flashed, and he is a capable backup point guard that can occasionally start for you if a guy is going to be out for a game or 2. Tristan Thompson, we know about Tristan. That's our guy. He was suspended that back half of the season for PEDs. That is so funny. Absolutely freaking hilarious. Sam Merrill, 40% from 3. I'm with it. In 61 games. He started 1. Sam is one of my guys. I saw Sam play for the Charge last season. I'm a season ticket holder for the Charge, so I had an opportunity to see Sam play a lot. I had an opportunity to see Sam shoot, and he shoots at that clip, man. That 40% 3-point guy. I mean, we didn't see a lot of it in the playoffs, and hopefully another year under his belt at 27 years old. Hopefully he's still around. Dean Wade, my main man, in 54 games. He started 32 games. He is a JB guy. I am a Dean Wade guy. Y'all. What can I say? George Niang, one of the new guys, one of the big free agent acquisitions. He played 82. He played all 82. George averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds. He shot 56%, 57%, 37 from 3. He got to do better there. But he was a pretty good addition. I mean, we know it's good George, bad George, and we got a lot of bad George down the stretch and in the playoffs. Isaac Okoro, our guy, he 69 games, so he missed some time with injuries. 9 points a game is what he does. He shot 40% from the from 3-point line. The 3-and-D guy, which is what they're trying to convert him into. Let's get to Karis LeVert, who spent some time on the injury list as well. He averaged 14 a game. Karis coming off the bench. He could have made a case for 6th man of the year. He started a lot of games in Isaac Okoro's absence. I mean, I love Karis. He's my guy. Evan Mobley. I think if there's one guy on this Cleveland Cavaliers team that I'm encouraged by and frustrated by all at the same time, it's Evan Mobley. He averaged 15 and 9 this year. Made another little leap. If last night's game 5 is an indication of, or just this Boston series, the Boston series period, if that's any indication of what we're going to see from him, look out. He needs to be in the weight room right now. He needs to eat 4 steaks today. He needs carbs, and he needs the weight room. I am going to continue to root for Evan Mobley. I'm going to continue to champion Evan Mobley because I am still of the belief that until Evan Mobley becomes a 22-10 guy, this Cleveland Cavaliers team will not be a serious championship contender. Jarrett Allen, my guy. 16 points, 10 rebounds a game. He had a double streak going. My guy was balling. We missed him in these last 6 games. We missed having that rebounding and just miss his play on the floor. He's a hustle guy. He gets things done. He's a decent defender. But Jarrett Allen had a great year, and he was playing great, especially during that December, January, February stretch where the Cavaliers were the hottest team in the NBA. Max Strus hit the biggest shot of the year, averaged 12 points a game. Good first year from Max, bringing his experience over from Heat culture. Max is Max. He had a couple of good games in the playoffs, but again, he dropped off in the playoffs too. Darius Garland. DG, the PG. In his 57 games, he still averaged 18 points, 6 assists a game. He shot 50% from the floor, y'all. No, shot 44% from the floor, 37% from three. That has to come up. However, and I don't know how many times I've said this on this show, and I'm going to keep repeating it. I might give this year as a wash year for Darius because he was out for that December, January stretch with the broken jaw, wasn't able to eat, wasn't able to work out, wasn't able to do the things he needed to do. And then coming back from that, losing his grandmother, he wasn't there mentally. DG never quite got into rhythm this year. And a lot of people could say he regressed, but I'ma just throw this year away. I'm gonna chalk this year. Just because. And Donovan Spider Mitchell. 55 games. He played at an MVP level, 26.6 assists, 5 rebounds, 46% from 46% shooting, 36% from the 3-point line. We know what Donovan Mitchell is capable of. We know that he's great. I will give my thoughts on what they do again next week. And I'll name this segment later. I'll give that. But overall, man, clap it up for this team. Now let me take this time here. There's a few rumors that have come out in the hours after the game. Let me address some of this stuff. And I'm going to do this as best as I can without kicking anybody's back in. I don't want to kick anybody's back in, especially no members of the media and especially no members of the local media. So I'm going to do this the best that I can. Apparently, the team was upset at Jared Allen that he didn't want to get a shot to numb those ribs up and play. It is what it is, man. It just is what it is. Anybody ever had a rib injury? You can't breathe. I don't think a cortisone shot would have made any difference, or any of those shots that numb that. It doesn't make a difference. The rumor mill is out there that Darius Garland could ask for a trade if Donovan Mitchell is signed to an extension. Darius Garland is a Clutch Sports athlete. Cleveland's own Rich Paul is his agent, or that's Rich Paul's agency, Clutch Sports. There's a possibility he could ask for a trade. And next week, I will let you guys know exactly what I do there and potential trade partners and stuff like that. And the other rumor, and which has been refuted by Donovan Mitchell himself, was that he was upset at this team, maturity of this team, and yada yada yada. And that was reported by Chris Fedor. I'll say this. Chris Fedor is actually one of the good guys. He's one of the better media people in Cleveland. So it's surprising that he put this out. And I'll just leave that there. The final thing. Ownership will evaluate JB Bickerstaff to see if they want to go forward. I feel like they're going to move on from JB, even though this team has made a step since he's taken over. They've gone from being in the lottery when he took over for that half a season to the play-in, the first round, and now the second round. They're doing it the right way. You're building this thing through the draft and getting key free agents, but it comes a point where they're gonna have to make a free agent splash or some kind of a bigger splash trade, and they did that with Donovan Mitchell to speed up the process. And they only got into the second round. This is only 2 years with Donovan Mitchell. I feel like they're gonna move on, but I also feel like if they keep him for next year, I feel like he bought that time with the job he did December, January, and February to keep this team afloat. And if they do bring him back next year, or if they don't fire him in this offseason, he has until Christmas to get it together. How that sound? Again, I will do a separate show on the offseason. And that's going to be coming up soon. Next week, I'll do that. Couple of other quick things before I do that. Donovan Mitchell is up for a 4-year, $208 million extension. Evan Mobley's rookie contract is coming up. He is eligible for an extension. Jared Allen is also eligible for an extension. Isaac Okoro's contract is up. They have until June the 29th to tender his offer, and they're $10.5 million below the luxury tax. I do have a short list of guys that I think they should bring in, but I will tell you about those next week. And I also will have thoughts on, do I think that should he return? Should he not return? We'll talk about it. But all in all, salute to the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right. Other things happened yesterday. The NFL released its schedule. I'll talk more about that on other segments. I'll name this segment later. I'll talk about the NFL schedule. But right now, I'm doing all Cleveland shit today. So, the Cleveland Browns schedule was released last night. The Browns have the toughest schedule. As far as opponents' records from last year, with a 547 percentage. It's funny that the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers have the 3 toughest schedules in the NFL, and the Bengals are like a little bit further down. I mean, but who complains? Like, why complain about that? I won't complain about that. It just is what it is, y'all. And y'all know, like, strength of schedule, it changes. That shit will change by week 10 of next year. It'll be, oh, well, the schedule is this, and because y'all already know, like, it's going to be teams that come in with expectations, and they're not going to be that good. They have 4 primetime games and no AFC North opponent until week 7. And I'll get to that. Let's run through the schedule, and then let's get the hell out of here, because I'm here for a good time and not a long time. The preseason starts August the 10th. The preseason opener is at Cleveland Browns Stadium. It is against the Green Bay Packers. They follow that up the week after that with the Minnesota Vikings, who I believe they're doing their joint practices with that week. So we probably won't see a lot of the guys. And finally, they travel out to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in the preseason finale. I believe the Packers game and the Vikings games are both at 4:25 on those dates, and the Seattle game is a 10:30 Eastern Standard Time game. Now, let's get to the schedule, and salute to the Browns social media team, the media team, all of the guys that work in their video room and all of that. I have to give you guys a hand because this schedule reveal was absolutely fantastic. Starting off week 1, the home opener against the Dallas Cowboys. That is also going to be Tom Brady's debut in the booth. Whatever. That is a 4:25 game. That's the prime game of week 1 of the 4:00 week 1 games. Week 2, travel to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Come home week 3 to take on the New York Football Giants. Hopefully they don't wear that ugly ass uniform they revealed today. And then they proceed to go on a 3-game road trip. Week 4, September 29th, against the Las Vegas Raiders. They travel back week 5, October the 6th, to take on the Washington Commanders. And they follow that up with week 6 on October the 13th against the Philadelphia Eagles. They come home for 3 in a row. Week 7, the first division game, AFC North, they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And then the Baltimore Ravens come in on week 8. That's October the 27th. And Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh bring the Los Angeles Chargers in here for week 9. And they have a bye week, week 10, which is cool because last year's bye week was kind of whatever. They come back off the bye week. Week 11, they travel down to New Orleans to take on the Saints. They come home to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday, November the 21st. That is a Thursday night game, y'all. I think that's a game that I want to go to. That's the game I want to be at. Thursday night at home. Division rival, arch rival Pittsburgh Steelers. And then they travel out to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos week 13. That is a Monday night game. So they have back-to-back primetime night games against the Steelers and against the Denver Broncos. And then they come back Sunday, December 8th to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you got the Steelers, you have the Broncos sandwiched in between your 2 Pittsburgh Steelers games. I hate when the schedule makers do that. I really do. I don't like that. Sunday, December 15th, they return home to take on Patrick LeVon Mahomes and the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's a game I might want to brave the cold. I don't give a damn what the weather is. I'll go and see Pat Mahomes. Week 16, travel down to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. And that's a Thursday night game in prime time. And they come back. They have a 10-day break. They have a home game, week 17, December the 29th. The Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and the gang come in week 17. And they end the season week 18 against the Baltimore Ravens in what possibly could be a game to decide the AFC North, home field advantage. A lot of stuff could decide because the Baltimore Ravens they look to be a tough team. To be honest with y'all, I don't know. I haven't even looked and checked and been like, all right, they'll win this game, lose this game, win this game, lose this game. I haven't gotten that far. I just got the schedule and I'm still trying to flush my Cleveland Cavaliers out of my system. But that's that. With that said, we're going to get out of here, y'all. Again, make sure you guys log on to Scene Magazine. I will put the links in the descriptions or the links down below. I promise y'all I'm going to do that today. Y'all vote once a day, every day until May the 20th, which is a few days away. And also the Cleveland Music Awards, I will post that link down there as well. Nominate me in the podcast, the radio podcast host category. Also, make sure y'all nominate my guy, Mr. Shredder, for best promoter. Speaking of Mr. Shredder, myself, Mr. Shredder, Flight Life Bees, Timbuktu, and Don Prince. The first episode of the Battleground pod after the battle podcast dropped today. That is right. That is up. I'm trying to think of what else, man. I think that's it, y'all. That's enough promo. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all. I will be back with. I'll name this segment later. I have a Pizzle's picks next week because WWE King and Queen of the Ring is next weekend. So I'll be looking for that next Friday. And Club Pizzle. So y'all gonna get some content from me, man. I got a full NFL schedule. I have the Cavaliers off-season stuff that I have to do. So y'all gonna get a lot of content. I'm gonna hit y'all with a lot of content from now until whenever, man, I feel like it. And again, I'll know the results June 5th if I bring home that Best of Cleveland award. So just continue to vote and get those votes in. Only a couple of days left. Y'all know what it is, man. Always protect your peace, protect your energy. The message is more important than the messenger. And creators, be great. Stay positive because negative energy is trash. Until next week, peace, y'all.